name is Jeff. I am a chef, and this is the Texas Flavor Kitchen. Hi, welcome once again to the Texas Flavor Kitchen. Tonight I'm doing a baked ziti along with a Tuscan squash casserole. So I decided I wanted to do a baked ziti because, well, I already had penne pasta in the pantry, but other than that, I needed to use up these carrots, some sweet peppers, I have some sweet onion, and I wanted to use those up. So how can I do that? Well, I thought if I roast that all down with some tomatoes and garlic in the oven, extra virgin olive oil, salt and pepper, and just roast that down at about 425 degrees for about 20 minutes. Starts to get a nice caramelization on it, starts to get nice and brown and yummy. Then you're going to take that and then simmer that down on the stove with just some store-bought sauce of your choice. I've got vodka sauce here. Doesn't matter which you choose, personal flavor preference. Cook that all down, and that's going to get pureed into a delicious sauce. And then I'm going to just mix that with ground beef and the cooked penne. Top that with cheese, goes in the oven, bakes off. It's amazing. I'm going to be using some of the ingredients I needed to use up in my fridge. I've got a few carrots here that I'm going to peel and chop. I've got some sweet peppers, a little bit of sweet onion, and then I've got garlic and some tomatoes on the vine. All I really want to do is cut these into pieces that are sort of the same size as each other. I've got carrots, sweet onion, garlic that I've cut the top off of but left intact otherwise, 2 tomatoes, and the rest of the sweet peppers I needed to use up. Your proportions might be a little different. That's okay. What's going to happen after I roast this down is I'm going to simmer it in a little bit of store-bought sauce, plus or minus however much sauce I'm trying to make. I'm going to be using some of this Texas Red Zinfandel, give a really robust red fruity flavor to the sauce to kind of balance that roasty garlic flavor, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my veggies, I'm going to put them on a cooking sheet, roasting pan, whatever you want to call it. Space them out evenly. Typically I want to put, alright, so I'm hoping you guys can see this. As I mentioned earlier, the carrots themselves might not get tender during this roasting process, but they're there to be a thickener when I puree everything in the end. So I get everything spaced out nicely, and then salt. You can go pretty crazy with the salt because that helps to draw out the moisture more quickly, and it's also going to flavor all of that. Pepper, of course. A few good pinches of the rest of what I've got there. Alright, and then some olive oil. You don't have to use your expensive extra virgin olive oil imported from Greece or whatever for this, right? I mean, the better quality you use, the better flavor you're going to get. But as far as just the roasting process, don't be afraid to use cheaper olive oil, or you can even just use vegetable oil. There's going to be so much flavor in this as it roasts. Alright, so I've got this. I got my oven preheated to 425 on convect. I'm going to go ahead and put this down on middle rack. I'm going to set my timer for about 20 minutes, and then I'll check on it. Usually you can tell by your nose when it's ready. Okay, so here I have my roasted veggies. Remember, it was a couple whole heads of garlic, big sweet onion that I chopped into big chunks, 3 carrots, and a few sweet peppers, and I just coated that in olive oil, salt and pepper, and then roasted it in the oven at 425 for about 30 minutes. What I'm going to do is, in this saucepan, I'm going to go ahead and add about half a jar of store-bought sauce, just to get it warm. I already had that. I knew I needed to use it up. I knew I needed to use these veggies up, so instead of buying a bunch of tomatoes and making it all 100% from scratch, I'm kind of, work with what I got. Alright, so what we want to do is peel the skins off of our tomatoes. You can throw in all the onion, anything that's too dark, you don't want the flavor to really get too bitter, so you can pull some of that darkness off. But really what I'm trying to do, especially with my peppers, peel that skin off. And there might be much left after you peel the skin off, but that's the beautiful thing about this roasting, is that I'm actually going to wipe the pan down with a little bit of high quality extra virgin olive oil and a little bit of good red wine, something dry that will complement a rich red sauce. And this is going to have beef in it as well, so don't be afraid to get a nice strong Red Zinfandel, or you can use Cabernet or even Chianti. Alright, so you can see I'm just trying to get the skins off so there's not too much little bits of skin when I puree this in the end. So it's just going to simmer in my sauce for a few minutes just till everything's nice and tender and melded, then that'll all get blended down in the blender. I've got these veggies that I roasted down in the oven for about half an hour. I'm just trying to get as much of the skin off my peppers and onions and everything as I can. It's pretty good. Now what you really want to see, when you roast your garlic, you want to be able to just squeeze it out like this. And look at that. Beautiful roasted garlic, not burnt, not bitter. I'll just throw that in. So I've got half a jar of store-bought sauce in here, and then I'm just adding these veggies I roasted, and then I'm going to blend it all together. These, my garlic, carrots, onions, peppers, all in my sauce there. Now it's time to deglaze this pan. So my roasting pan still got lots of olive oil, salt, and pepper on it, plus all the sugars that have kind of caramelized out and stuck to the pan. So I heated it just briefly on the stove top. I'm going to add red wine, and we just use that to deglaze. Scrape all this off. It's all a good flavor. It's going to actually add some sweetness. And this is a Red Zinfandel, which is really robust, and it's made to pair with red meat and red sauce, which are both going to be in my baked ziti. So we just try to get as much of that off as we can, and carefully going to pour it in here. And you're going to want to simmer at least 10 minutes to get the alcohol off, but that gives you time to get your pasta water started for your penne pasta and get your ground beef browning in a skillet as well. Alright, so I've got my sauce of roasted veggies simmering. It's got red wine in it as well. I've got my pasta water over here. It's just salted water with a little olive oil. Got that on high. Going to bring that to a boil to boil my penne pasta in. And then I'm going to brown some grass-fed ground beef. This is 90% lean, which means I won't have to drain off the fat and take that extra step. So using grass-fed beef, it's going to be leaner usually. 85-15 is about the fattiest ground grass-fed beef I get, but with the 90-10, you don't have to worry about draining it at all. Got a non-stick pan, so I don't need to add any extra oil. Let that really sear and get nice brown caramelized color to it before I start hacking at it and stirring it around. Just a little salt and pepper as it cooks. Okay, so hopefully you can see my ground beef. Trying to get it nice and dark. Well, not burnt dark, but you know, some actual brownness. No one likes just gray ground beef, right? You want some color on there. Try not to flip it all at once. Let most of that water cook off before you start flipping more pieces over. Okay, so my beef is getting nice and colored. See the beautiful brown on there. Just going to go ahead and stir it all around, chop it up a little. There we go. So now once it's all almost brown, chopped down pretty good, I'm going to go ahead, turn my heat down to just above low. See my sauce there bubbling away. Everything looks like it's tender and soft, so it's ready to go into the blender. So that's going to get pureed until it's nice and silky smooth. And then I'm going to pour the puree into my meat and make my meat sauce. I can see my pasta water is boiling, so I better get my penne in. And it'll take about 8 minutes to get all done today. Alright, so I've I've got my penne pasta boiling away there in the background. I've got my beef beautifully browned. I've got my puree of my veggies plus my store-bought sauce. I'm going to go ahead and add it to the beef, all of it. And then from this stage, we can kind of taste test, right? The meat's already cooked, sauce has come together. And if we need to add a little bit more tomato sauce, we can do that. I might add a little tomato juice that I've got in the fridge. If I want to add a little more red wine, give it a little deeper, darker flavor, I can do that as well. This is your chance to customize the actual taste of the sauce before you bake it all together. You might be able to see just how thick this is, right? These carrots and onions and everything really act as a thickener when you puree them. I want this to cook down in the oven with my ziti, all kind of baked together. So I don't want it too liquidy, but I also don't want it so thick that it doesn't get in the noodles themselves and it just kind of sticks to the outside, right? So I'm going to do three things here. A little bit more of my store-bought sauce, a little bit of veggie juice, which is mostly tomato, and then just a little bit of that same red wine. It's a Texas Red Zinfandel. Now I want to get this all stirred in and simmered down for a few more minutes. It should be the perfect consistency and the perfect flavor. Ready to assemble my baked ziti. I've got my penne pasta, went for just 8 minutes at a boil. And I really want to strain that out, get most of the water out of there. You can just pour this through a colander if you wanted to, but so you can see the size of the dish I've got. I'm not going to make everything I've got here. I just want to show you how to portion just a nice big ziti, how to put it together. So it's about a third of the way full of pasta. Next I'm going to add this wonderful sauce, which is mostly homemade. I did kind of use some shortcuts to get it the flavor and consistency I wanted to. So for that amount of pasta, about right. So what I really want to show you is getting everything well coated, right? I want that sauce to really penetrate the noodles, get all the way inside, and then those noodles will continue to cook and absorb the flavor into themselves as well, so you get beautiful flavored pasta. And that's looking good. If you want a little meatier, scoop out a couple extra chunks of meat, make it heartier. No more than about 2/3 of the way full. And then to top it off, normally you'd use mozzarella. I've been cooking Mexican a lot, so I've got queso fresco. I'm just going to crumble that on top. We're going to bake this uncovered at 350 degrees, so I've got my oven already preheated. This queso fresco will kind of melt down, and it'll also kind of start to brown, which is exactly what I want. And I'm going to top this with Parmesan to give it that Italian flavor, but also to help it brown and become beautiful. I don't have Parmesan, I have Romano. I'm going to shape this on the top, big, small, doesn't really matter. It's going to melt down, get brown, and take you to flavor time. Just a touch more. How beautiful that is. Alright, it's going to go in the oven, 350 for, we'll say 25 minutes, and then we'll check. Look at that. Yes, it's brown because I wanted my cheese to get brown, and the sauce itself getting nice, rich, dark color around the edges. You're going to want to let this sit for a good 15 minutes before you try to cut into it, otherwise it's going to ooze all over the plate. After it's rested though, you should be able to cut, let's see, at least 6 fat portions from that, and it will look amazing and it'll taste even better.